Hey everybody, thank you for joining us. We are live. We are live, we are live, we are live. Give me 1 second. I'm putting my tag in a couple of areas, making sure that the videos get circulated. Let me know if you're here. I saw on one that okay, cool. I saw on one site that I had somebody join us. So please, please, please like, share, tag somebody. Make sure somebody knows that I'm on. It's time to talk about it. Let's talk about it. Because I definitely am not going to be, as the preacher say, won't be before you long. But I do want to communicate some things that is going on here at CMA. I'm super excited about what's going on. I'm very conversational person, so if you're on, because I see on my page there's like 2 people on, so if you're on, say hello to me. I like to say hello back. I like to know who I'm talking to, and hey, matter of fact, tell me where you're chiming in from, so that I know that you are here. So I am Ann Boo, CEO, founder of Creative Music Academy. I am a musician for over 20 years now. I play the saxophone. That is not the only instrument I play, but the saxophone is the main instrument that I play. I am also an educator, been decreed in special education, mild to moderate, severe to profound, taught in education for over 12, 13 years now. So I'm not a vet, but I'm not a newcomer either. So I'm excited to be here talking to you all today. The last couple of lives, we talked about the foundation of why CMA is CMA. Why am I the founder and CEO of CMA? Talked about that. Been talking about the music part of how music affects education. We chimed in and talked about the different districts that teach education differently, and how it's important to find a school or an environment conducive for your child to grow and develop in educational wise. Let's see, we've talked about so much, but it's still much to talk about. It's so much to talk about when it comes to the arts in education. So I wanted to jump in here today for my little tidbit tip, to talk about the importance of photography and the arts of photography and how that affects education. Yeah, I'm not just going to talk about music, you all. Even though I'm a musician and I believe that music brings that creativity to the platform of education, and it builds a enlightening and it builds a conducive brain in education. That's not the only art that we have out here. We have IT and coding. We have arts like painting and sculpturing. We're going to talk about that too. But then we have photography. And here at CMA, we have a photography class for the youth, and we have a photography class for the adults here. So on Tuesdays, we have photography class for our youth. Right now, the class is from 4 to 5:30. We are innovatively teaching our young students not just to be able to hold a camera and take the picture, but there's different aspects to photography that allow students to grow, to develop, to be able to have what they're needing to build upon educationally. So let's talk about that. The photography gives a visual learning. Photographers, it gives a visual medium and thought. Students can learn to observe and analyze their surroundings more critically. By taking photographs, students can learn to see the world from a different perspective and develop a deeper appreciation of visual arts. So whereas a person that is not being is not utilizing their creative thought might look at the picture behind me and be like, oh, that's cute, that's just a picture. But if you look at the different waves and the different artistic, and I'm gonna push the camera up, if you look at the different portraits or the different way and the style this particular artist created this painting, there's so much detail to it that a photographer can see, where if you're not utilizing that creative eye, you won't have that same perspective, or you won't have that same thought. In everyday life, we need to have different perspectives. We have to see things from different views. Whether you're in a boardroom or you have your entrepreneur business, you have to be able to see and work like differently. What does that mean? What does that pertain to? It pertains to so many things, because we get the opportunity here to teach our children how to use that photography class on an everyday basis. It might not be a career for somebody, but it might be able to start them out to be able to see and look at things and view things differently. I'm gonna use my father as an example. My father was not a professional photographer per se, but he was a photographer. If you knew him in the Church of God in Christ realm, he was a photographer. He took pictures of everybody and everything. Hey, Pastor Jason, it's good to see you. Jalecia, hey, man, I'm going to get you in here. We're going to do, between you and Valerie, we're going to do give and take interview, so that people can understand the difference between for photographers, and how it gives a different scope of life to be able to function, to be able to grow, to be able to develop, to be able to see things differently, to promote yourself differently. It gives a whole different view. So the other thing it gives is communication skills. How does it give communication skills? Photographers can also help students develop their communication skills by choosing the right composition, lighting, subject matter. Students can effectively convey their message or a through their photographies. So I just spilled out my good sis Jalecia. Her niche, her genre is doing marriage photography, weddings, during engagements. She loves the love scene. And so Valerie's is women of power, women of excellence. My guy Ryan, he loves doing photography for those models and for those that are in the model industry. I have another good friend that does photography specifically. His genre is doing photography for run shows, from runways. So it gives a different perspective of what our youth can walk into. They can just, like I said, I'm gonna take it back to my father. My father was not a photographer by trade, but he was a photographer. He photoed, he did photography for all the Church of God in Christ conventions, all the different events that our family was in. He took pictures of everything. Was he professional? Absolutely not. But he took that craft and it built up his ability as a engineer, or not an engineer, as an electrician, to be able to look at things differently in electronics, to give a different perspective in electronics. So this man was so creative. To this day, folks don't want to come fool with my electric in my home, because he was such a creative to put things together electrically that it brings a new edge to those that are in the electrical arena. So it brings another challenge to give to those that are around them. And sometimes folks don't want no challenge. Folks is just like, I'll do business the way I do business. I'm good, you know. But for those that want that extra edge and that extra line up, that's what photography gives to the table for those that are merging photography with education. It also gives critical thinking. Photography is a creative medium where students can use it to develop their creative thinking skills by experimenting with different angles, lighting, and composition. Students can learn to think outside of the box and come up with unique solutions to problems. Whereas, okay, so back in the day, I used Little House on the Prairie all the time, because it was real life. Little House on the Prairie, they sent their kids outside and they just played outside. And it gave them critical thinking. It gave them creative moments to make mud pies and to create a pie. They made mud pies and then they pretended that that mud pie was a meal. Well, nowadays, we don't just always send our kids outside. You know, life is different. But you can still have that same critical thinking and using photography as an education tool to merge education with photography. What? Look at that. And they might be outside because there are photographers, Miss Sandy, my friend Miss Sandy, she is a nature photographer. She does photographs of animals and nature and things of that nature. And yes, I'm spitting out photographers because they are the bomb photographers here in Oklahoma City that I know. So I will shout them out all day long. Now, will they do family photos? Absolutely. There's a corporate photographer, Mr. Stephen Nelson and Stacy Nelson, that do newborns and do senior pics and do corporate photography. There is so many, and yes, I'm shouting them out. If you know them, tag them in the tags. I'll tag them later. But there is so many avenues for photography to be not just a venue of entrepreneurship, but using that tool to merge with education for critical thinking, for communication. They have to, in our class, they get to experience actual clientele. They just took a picture of a client not too long ago, last week, and they had to set up the client. They had to talk to the client. They had to see what the client's outfit would be so that they can put them in the right arena, right place to take good pictures. Then they set up that picture spot, took the pictures. They have to communicate to tell the folks, hey, how to pose, what to look like, where to stand. That's communication. That's social skills being built up within a photography class. What? These same students are learning how to use their photography to be newspaper photographers. They can put their photography in newspaper articles in so many different vineyards that it's not just limited to or set apart as, oh, this is just a class to take pictures. Now, what are the qualifications or needs for this class? Good question. One of the needs are they're needed to be in middle school and high school. They have to have an actual camera that is able to be in manual mode. So you want a professional camera so that it could be in manual mode. They not just taking pictures on just a regular Polaroid camera, or they're learning how to professionally take those pictures. And again, on Thursday, we are going to have a wonderful interview with one, maybe two of those students. I might wait and hold off and have the photography class actually do the interview. Let me do that. So it's not just, you're not just hearing from my daughter. You're going to hear from the whole photography class. Because I want you all to understand that it's not just it builds a community for them to learn their craft, what they want to do, and walk them into the next segment of their lives. Those students that are in this class right now want to be photographers. They want to grow in photography. And so that gives them the opportunity to do that. If they don't want to be in photography, it gives them experience to do it. The other thing it gives them is technical skills. So photographers have to learn how to edit. They learn exposure and aperture. They learn shutter speed. By learning these skills, students can develop a better understanding of how cameras work and improve their technology. They also learn how to use Adobe Light, Adobe Room to edit, because you have to give those edited photos back to your client. They also learn how to use Zoom, because some of those moments that they can't meet in person, they might meet in Zoom to show off their ending product to those clients. So they're not just learning how to use technology on their camera, but they're learning how to use technology with their computer. Again, critical thinking, creative thinking, and critical thinking. It's what is being grown, developed. And overall, photography can be a valuable tool for students to develop a range of skills that can benefit them in their education and beyond. This is not just for right now. It's not. What we're doing here at Creative Music Academy is not just for right now. This is really built for what is to come, how it is to build them in their everyday lives. Music, build them in their everyday lives, whether they become a professional artist or if they literally later on down the line use that same musical tool to de-stress, or build them a little side gig, or several streams of income. We never know what our young people will do with the craft and creativity that is building today. So with that being said, it brings me to several things that I want to share. So open enrollment is still enrollment. We still have seats available. The class goes until May. They get to be able to show off their artwork at the end of the semester. They do photography for our spring concert, and you all are going to get to see the winter concert pictures here pretty soon. They just emailed them to me, so I'm going to get to upload that. They did an editing session on those winter pictures. So once that, so since I have them, I'll download them and post them and show their creative work that they did on behalf of CMA and learning all the tools that need to be learned in those classes. The other things that are happening here at CMA, and I'm going to put it up, is, yes, I have books. I have books available here, you all. One book is The Sound of Life Musician's Devotional. It's not just for musicians. It's absolutely for everybody. I just referenced it for musicians because a lot of musicians don't have that developmental tool to help stay in worship, stay in God per se, and help lead them and journal out their lives throughout the day. It's a 21-day devotional. I do have a single. It's $10. It's available to you. Yes, y'all. The question's been asked. Am I working on an EP? Yes, I'm working on the EP. It is coming out. I just don't know when. But it will be out, and you will have ample of notification. Last thing is the Successful Learning book. It is to help tool parents that are homeschooled, virtual schooling, public schooling, how to utilize our creatives to bring education together and help them work hand in hand, how to help find a perfect educational spot for your scholar, how to be able to know what fits and what doesn't fit for that particular scholar. Also, we have merch. We have merchandise, you all. We have zip up jackets. We have long sleeve t-shirts. We have short sleeve t-shirts. You know, it's unpredictable weather here in Oklahoma City. We, even though we're spring, Oklahoma still has a tendency to act like it's bipolar in its weather. So if you still want to purchase hoodies, they're still available. But we have t-shirts, we have long sleeve shirts, we have zip up jackets, we have hoodies, we still have masks and gaiters if you want those available to you. All of those are on our website. All you have to do is go to CMAACADEMY.com at any point in time and order your merchandise. Lastly, thank you so much for supporting us. Please, please, please keep supporting us. We take donations. We are a nonprofit organization. And I'm going to say that again. We are a nonprofit organization. We literally function and move off of not only just the small amount that students pay, because students are students, they don't make big money, and families are families. Some families don't make big money, so the donations help, partnerships help, sponsorships help. So if you are a business, if you are a entrepreneur that needs somewhere to donate and for a tax write-off, we are the place. You will be able to see many young people be able to participate in our facility, in our program that will benefit. We just had one student that has been with us since almost the beginning of us being here, almost. She got to participate in a pageant, and because of scholarships and because of what you do here, she was able to and be able to practice and do what her due diligence. She got first place in her talent, and she got to win in the pageant. So it was exciting to us. We have students that have been here before, that are alumni, that has been so grateful to be able to be a part of this program. One young lady is a worship leader in her own church. That is succeeding in scaling the scale in her entrepreneur business as a nail tech and cosmetology is what I'm trying to think of. So it's not just keeping them as singers and keeping them as in the craft of music, but she's taking what she's learned in being a worship leader into every venue of her life, and she's scaling it to what she needs to be, looking at different perspectives and different things. I have another young man that is so busy now that he is being in #1 in everything from drum line to jazz band, and making ones in different competitions. I'm so proud of him. Praying that he gets to come back during the summer and hang out with us, because we love our alums to come back and support and you know, cultivate the young ones that are already here. So we've had also, my own son had the opportunity to participate with the Clara Looper Fiesta Fest, and has been able to participate and play alongside a well-known songwriter for the Philharmonic. So there's different opportunities that happen here. We just want to be able to give that to more students and to support more students. So how do you do that? Go to CMAACADEMY.com. It is literally in the comments, or in the comments above. Go there, click the donation button, be a partner. You can be a weekly partner, a monthly partner, or a quarterly partner. If you want to be a sponsor, please email us our inboxes, and we will set up that sponsorship for you that way. So you all, I'm just grateful that you came on and took your time out to say hello to me. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening in. Thank you for understanding that we have to make sure that we keep that creative side of our youth, that creative side of our next generation open and available for them to grow and develop. This creativity is what is needed in boardrooms, in our Senate, in our judicial system, as presidents, as mayors. We want to be able to have those young people to be well-rounded individuals in that spot. And the way to do that is to make sure that we are keeping the arts alive to be able to push forward what they need in that arts area to move and do what needs to be done, whether it's a 9 to 5 or whether it's in arts, entertainment, education, whether it's in the governmental system, whether it's in churches or I don't like to say religion, but with kingdom movement. We want to make sure that our babies are well-rounded for this next step of what they're doing in life, you all. Okay? So, needless to say, I am done with my podcast for today. I will see you guys on Thursday. You don't never know who my guest will be. Stay tuned. I'll see you on Thursday.